Good evening, Internet and Pat. I'm thinking ahead. Oh, let me just. I should get that fixed before I start. So unprofessional. Anyway, hello. I hope you're doing better than me. I'm coming down with a bit of a cold or something, so I'm a bit stuffed up. But I'll try and speak as clear as I can and spare my throat a bit this time. I almost lost my voice last time. So anyway, today we is doing more Hitfilm. This is awesome effect, right? This is a great tutorial. I think you should watch all the tutorials I do, whether you're going to use the effect or not. Just watch them, just because you learn so much. That's a good one as well. It's cold in here. Yeah, they do some excellent stuff. But today we are going to do some slightly more advanced stuff than what we were doing last stream, because you're ready for it now. Can't you feel the confidence? Because before, I mean, once you get used to the idea that it's all just layers, it's just kind of like Photoshop really. There's not an awful lot to it. It's really just about learning what these do and how these can help you. And that's what this session is more about. It's about what these do and what they can do to help, rather than just confuse you. Some of them you use all the time, like the one I kept on hitting obviously was glow and light flares. Those two right there, is just, you use them all the time. Other ones you barely use or use occasionally, but you have to kind of negotiate your way through it all, which is not so easy. And then you've got things like this, and you're like, what the hell is that? You know, this is another thing. I've been investigating more of that today, actually. Some of this will be for Hitfilm Pro, and some will work with Express. Sometimes you can get Pro effects by combining lots of Express effects together. It's just that they've combined them in Pro for convenience sake. So some of this you can still achieve in either version. It's just got to be resourceful. So what we're starting with. I was just checking it out. Yeah, number 9. So again, we've got some pre-made shots over here that I'm going to use as my examples, and then one shot at the end which we're going to make up as we go, just because. So, I'd rather than build them up from scratch this time, because that takes a long time, and that was for more basic stuff. This time we're going to do it the other way. We're going to start with the finished shot and work our way backwards as to how we got the finished shot. Because if you turn off everything else, just start. Okay, well, that's not the basic shot. We're not back there yet. There we go. So that is layer 1 of my shot, as it was. Yeah, it's just standard movies who say it. Now I have on this, as I said in the last one about the depth layer, I have a depth pass on this one. As you can see, the depth pass goes all the way through into the people in the gallery here, and they are part of the depth pass, which is great, it's what you want. But if you use a transparency, which I was using a clear, you know, just an object in box basically that was with a semi-transparent texture on it to simulate glass, the depth of field stops when it hits transparencies, which is a problem, especially for windshields and stuff like that. And I couldn't work out how to do it in this one. Actually, I was thinking, well, how am I going to get depth of field here? Am I going to fake it or do whatever? But I came up with a compromise which kind of works, and I think is educational again as to how Hitfilm can help you get round these problems that normally you just say, ah, sod it, and just, you know, put it in any old way and just think, ah, nobody will notice. But no, they'll notice. They always notice. Nobody notices when you've done it right, but they always notice when you've done it wrong. So let's get this right. So what I did was I came up with a plan. Again, knowing that I was going to use Hitfilm, I split the shot up into layers. So this is the back layer. And the reason I did that as a back layer, well, obviously I did my usual thing. I did my crush my blacks and whites to get this blooming a wee bit and then a bit more. There you go. And that's the back sorted pretty much with those two effects, which just, you can't go wrong with those two, I'm telling you. Next, we have the lens blur. which looks a bit odd, but that's for the gallery. It's just itself. You know what it does is I masked off this bit because I didn't want the lens blur to affect that, because I was going to add, you know, other effects, and for various technical reasons I didn't want the lens blur over here, and it was. I just wanted it a wee bit over here. So masked off that, just left that. You always have to remember that masks always work in inverse. You can always inverse them. You can either hide bits or hide everything else except that bit. So masks are easy to work with. If you understand that, it's just that that's how you flick them back and forward. Just invert it. Next. Okay, now we're still trying to work our way backwards. So we've got the ceiling. Oh yeah, the glass. I'll get to that a bit in a second. The glass isn't really glass. The glass is 3 masks. And the masks, as you can see, oh, the middle one's the easiest one. Oh, I keep forgetting I can do that. Now I'll turn off the lens bar so you can see it properly. This mask is, if I just turn it all off. Oh, you can't actually see it anymore, of course. Because, oh, there you go. All it is, it's just a plane. You know, just like on your plane layers. Just a grey plane layer. I adjusted the colour of it down a wee bit to make it white. Then made it, was it 14% opacity? Because normally it would just be like that. Oh, it was actually pure white. There you go. I thought it was grey. There you go. So that's 14, 13, 14, whatever. There you go. And then mask off the bits like so. Oh, there you go. And then you've got something that looks, it matches the other shots for making it look like glass. And that gets around the problem of having the depth of field with the glass, because you just don't have any glass. Glass is a pain. So the explanation for all this, because you might wonder, sometimes you look at shot and think, why is there so many layers? Surely it's just one shot, but it's just like real cinema. It's what they do. I mean, everything's chopped up into bits and it's all composited on top of each other. It's crazy, but this is what you do. So I'll put the ceiling blur. If we get that, is just that little bit there, and what that is actually just that. It's just a blur effect applied to that bit to give me a depth of field controllable. Or it looks like depth of field, but it isn't. It's fake. You know, I'm just faking where I want, because I want the focus here in the middle. So I'm just, you know, taking off the edges here by blurring them out, which is cheating, but it's okay. Then we have the TED layer, which is again usual crushed blacks and whites as usual, because without it, you know, it just is rather flat looking. I would bring it out a bit, and then the light wrap, especially around the head, you know, with the fluorescence behind them, it really helps kind of merge that in a bit. Again, you notice that if it's not there more than, you know, where it is. When it is, it just looks right. When it isn't, it kind of, that's too separate from the background, because the light would kind of interfere with that. So, light wrap. It's a subtle effect, but it's all about subtlety. So that's up to there, and then we have, now that that is just because, as we know, the lighting engine in Unreal 3 is not very good, and sometimes on some models like this one, as you can see, it just falls apart and things like that. So rather than trying to fix it, because at the time I was just like, no, I can't be bothered going and making these things again and trying to fix it. So what I did was I made a patch. And all the patches, I think you can do it. Oh, what is it? Oh. It's supposed to be a way you can hide everything else except that one, but right. All the patch is, let me just turn off there you go, you can see it there. Just took that frame, because that is just a static frame, and just took that into Photoshop, did the same patch track as I did with the phone in the last stream, and then just painted in the bits that were a bit crap looking to make it look less crap. It still looks a bit crap, but it's not as bad. You know, it's like you're not necessarily looking at that because you're looking at it. Here's a last minute addition to the shot, I thought. Because I wasn't going to use them because the animation for the praying is so short. I didn't think I could use them, but I did. Again, I just used the same value for the crushed blacks and whites. In fact, I think I copied it, just copied and pasted from other levels onto here for each one. And then again did the light wrap again for his head, just to bring, because you get that kind of nasty line there which doesn't look nice, so light wrap, nice. It makes me happy when I see little things like that, and it makes it just, that just sells it so much better than when it's off and it's just that hard line. Yeah, I like it. So again, light wrap is one that you find yourself using more and more the more you appreciate it, just because it's a handy effect. It's really good. And then it goes finally our good old LUT. So this time that's Kodachrome, yeah. We're back in the Kodachrome again. That just ties the colours all down into the same colour space, or whatever you want to call it, as are the rest of our shots. And there you go, that's your finished shot. Just let it play normal. There you go, and it obviously keeps on playing after that. I don't know why it doesn't just stop at the end there. It should just stop at the out point. And that's essentially how you think ahead in your program. And same with iClone as well. You can render out just a separate layer like that. Just you isolate characters models into one layer. Excuse me. Or else just basically hide everything else, and when you export it, it's a transparent background, and it's easy enough to do. So it's something to consider when you're making your movie. Let's see. What's next? Oh yes. Took a second now. Now this one, these take a long time to build up. This is why I didn't want to build these from scratch, because I would have been here for like 10 hours. It would just taken so long. So there is our basic. I'll show you. This one is where it really pays to use all this stuff, because this basic shot is rubbish. Let's just see. Idea is looking down from fluorescent light down to Ted. It's the opening shot. It's the first time we see Ted in prison. Okay, so, and it's kind of dull, it's kind of flat, and it's that's the worst fluorescent light in history. It's just terrible. But that's all I could get. Maybe that's as bright as it goes, without hitting lots of bloom effects and things like that. And there's lost any detail, but then again you can see bits here just not working right, so it just looks terrible. So, first thing I did was duplicate it. Let's just turn off all that. First thing I did was just duplicate it, so it's the same thing again. And then just masked off just this top bit, because I don't want to affect, the background there. I just want to affect the light here, and I want to hit it with some light. So the first thing to do is diffuse it a bit, to kind of soften it up, to get rid of these kind of hard edges and stuff like that. And then bang it on with a glow. It is a very contained glow, as you can see. I don't think I messed, no, I left all the other stuff alone. You don't usually need to mess with the rest of this stuff. You can if you want to, but you don't need to usually. As you can see, you can get the effect you're after, which was just a solid light, more or less, just with that. But it's just it's a little bit crap looking. It's not glowing enough. It's got the core, but it's not glowing enough. So then I made some rays, and these are just light rays. It makes more sense actually if you advance the film a little bit. Yeah, you can see the extent of them. And you see they also animate and change as the shot goes on. And light rays are just basically this is your point here where they start projecting from, So if I want the light rays to come from over here or here, whatever, you just put it where it is. And I've got this central sort of line anyway to judge it by, so I can just stick it there. And then you just put how much, or how far do you want the rays to reach, what kind of extent, what kind of after effects, what kind of things like that. Yeah, I've messed that up, I'll put it back to where it was. So it was back to 500, there you go. And also add, I think it was set to normal by default. Add makes it much more bright, and that basically gives you something that passes for a fluorescent light up close, because it's got the glow, it's got the the OBS just seemed to cut out on me there. I don't know if I'm broadcasting or not now. What's going on? Well, looks like it's going back on. Oh, I don't know where to continue now. No, it looks like it's still going. So I'll just have to, I'll just soldier on and assume that it's still working, but it just copped out there for a second, so. Okay. Alright, thanks Pat, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, it's the first time it's ever failed on me, that OBS, it's quite odd. It might just be because of the weather though. We're under a foot of snow up here, so it's pretty cold. It's been like that for like 3 or 4 days now, it's unrelenting. Anyway, so like I was saying, so you got your rays and you got your core light there sorted. It's very easy to do fluorescence in Hitfilm, I find, if you've got like a white source to start with, or even just something bright, you can just brighten it up and just, you know, make it into that. You can also use the threshold effect, and that basically exaggerates the differences between lights and darks, so you can isolate something that's light and then make it into a light object, and then hit it with glow until it glows like this, till it turns it into a bloody lightsaber. Which is kind of what we're going for here, kind of like giant lightsaber. So, got our lightsaber. It's not really a lightsaber. We've got another smoke layer, which is kind of blue cigarette smoke. Remember when you used to be able to smoke indoors? God. It freaks me out, that does, when I see old television and old films, people smoking while they're serving food and stuff like that. And you're like, was that really how people were back then? It's weird. Right, so that's just a smoke layer. That's just ignore that one. That's just now. Here's another nice trick. When you're up close to a light, what tends to happen is that any imperfections on the lens dirt tends to show up, like so, and you can fake that quite nicely. It's a very subtle effect, but I'll turn off everything else. It's a very subtle effect. Of course, it's just static. It's just locked onto the camera because the lens dirt doesn't move, but the opacity changes as the camera moves and the light changes angle into the lens. That's the effect you're trying to give. And it's amazing how often you put camera imperfections into a shot trying to sell it. But lens dirt, absolutely. The ones I'm using are awesome because look at the size of this thing. It is a big thing. What is sizes anyway? It's 5,000 by 3,000 pixels, full 32-bit. That is awesome. I got these from Action VFX. Action VFX does like all this kind of stock sort of stuff, but they give away free stuff, and this is one of the free packs they give you. They give you is lens dirt, all this really high quality stuff, and honestly, it's just great. Go download it, kids. If I remember, I'll change the description of this and I'll put the link to it so you can go download it, because these lens dirts, I mean, you can see the quality, you can zoom right in, there's no pixelation at all, they're just beautiful, they're beautifully done. And that's at 40% opacity, obviously, and it goes down. Normally they're like that, you know, just you can vary it up and down depending on how much you need. So. And you got different types, some of them are smears and all this kind of stuff, you get all kinds of different ones. But lens dirt absolutely helps sell it. help sell it. Yeah, it's more of a subconscious thing. You don't have to put up too much, and it can really ruin the effect if you overuse it, if you put up too much. Some people whack it on everything and make it really obvious, and you should only use it sparingly and subtly, and it helps sell that. And another thing, obviously, when you do that with a camera is lens flare. So you got every lens flare. I'm not 100% happy with this lens flare. I think I tried lots of different ones, but I'm still not 100% sure on that one. It would do just now, but I think I might change that to something else. Let me just check. You still streaming over there? Yeah, he's still working. Yeah, he's still working. It's got me paranoid now. So yeah, a bit of lens flare. The lens flare, obviously, as it's moving, you don't transform the lens flare layer. You do the individual elements of it. So the in this case, the hotspot. No, pivot. Sorry, is where the lens flare is actually going, and so you can animate that. Sometimes it's better to have that static and then move the source, to get that kind of movement, or sometimes it's better to do that way. Depends on your shot. I've just messed up a bit, but alright. This is just a copy. So yeah, just remember to animate that a wee bit as well, just to move it, because again, some people put in lens flares, but then they forget to move it when the camera moves, and that doesn't work. That looks terrible. Yeah. And then something else that you'll find now, because that was all just all that was just to get the light working. I haven't even touched the shot yet, really. So the shot itself, the actual what we're looking at, I have this internal look is called, and this is, as you can see, quite a lot combined with the final LUT, gives me the final look of the shot. And as you can see, it's quite a difference. It took me a while to work it out. Like I say, I went for 2 days going through all this stuff on all my shots, because I do a lot of this film. This is from Sammamish, or Sammamish, I should remember to call it. Is in this room, in this interview room, so I had to look nice, and this is the best I could get out. It moves you again with the lighting and the way it is, the textures, the limit of the textures, quality you can have with 1K textures and this kind of stuff. So you're very limited in what you can do in Movizu. But I thought, I can ramp on all this movie stuff and make it look cinematic somehow, surely, and you can. And if I work my way backwards through them, because again, you always look at them from top down because it's the layered system. So the first thing was the colour balance. Now this was taken off someone else's preset, because what you can do is, this is what I did, I cheated, you see. What you do is, now where was it again? Was it? See, some of these, like Classic Cinestyle or whatever, are just groups of effects that you can then sort of tweak yourself, like Classic Cinestyle, is that one? No, that is a preset, so it's not that one. I should remember. They're in here somewhere, but there's preset type ones like that where big groups of them have already been done. And I just did, sometimes what I'm trying to get at, sorry, is that you can't always fix it all with one control, fixing one colour level. Sometimes you've got to do other weird things like the colour gradient, because I wanted the effect of the cigarette smoke in the air without having too much smoke, because the movie's smoke effect is kind of lame. So I wanted to kind of wash it in a kind of blue sort of look. And so that's what I did. I literally did. I used a colour gradient and I washed it in a blue, going from a dark blue at the top to a lighter blue at the bottom, and just washed the whole thing. And you can see it there. I have to turn off that, might make it more obvious. Well, if I turn up, can I turn up the intensity of that? Oh, there you go. I'll turn up the opacity so you can see 100%. So that's the top of it where it's darkest, which I can bring right down. You see that kind of banding, and that's where it's darkest blue, and then this is where it's lightest, and it can, so you can use it as a as a kind of a tint, which is a really nice effect, because you can use it in all kinds of creative ways, and you can animate it, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. But I just liked that kind of look of the smoke, kind of the bluish smoke effect coming down as a gradient. And obviously you can do that with any colour. You change that to, you know, make it green, or whatever. You know, in a nightclub or whatever, you could do that for the overall light effects and this kind of stuff. So that, I mean, just that simple effect, that's called colour gradient. That is, it's a gradient from here to here. Again, just like in Photoshop, you know, you get the little gradient box effect, and you have the 2 points, and you can alter it. It's the same effect essentially. It's slightly different interface, but it's exactly the same effect. You have it's a radial effect, so it's round, you know, so it comes, so it's like a spot effect from here out to here. So you know, you can have a little, you know, you can have it rounded off and stuff like that. You know, all kinds of stuff like that. You'd have these two animated and pinging around each other. All kinds of stuff. That's obviously, again, fine tuning the angle of the change from one to the other and all this kind of stuff. Again, the basic stuff is at the top, the more fiddly stuff's down at the bottom, so of each effect. So you only usually have to bother with the top stuff. And I'll just undo all that. Put my shot back the way it was. So there you go, that's a nice way to do a gradient. So again, just to simulate cigarette smoke. And then a wee diffuse, which just basically softens everything up because it was looking a wee bit sharp. Again, you can't even really see it. You have to see it on a bigger to see the effect with and without. It's just, again, it just softens everything up just a little bit, which is nice. And brightness and contrast, just simple brightness and contrast. Just sometimes even the very simple effects are what you need, you know, so that's fine, that worked. And then of course a good old vignette, which is obvious when you turn it on where it is, but then after you look at it for a second it's not so obvious anymore. It just kind of works with the frame. And then the last one, I think I messed up my effects there, I was messing up it. And the last one was of course the last one was that, and we tie all that together because that blue also tints all of this, which is good, which is what we want. That nice kind of blue effect. Yeah, I think I messed up the I think I undid it, I didn't undo all the effects, the changes, but that's a nice way of getting a kind of transition to add atmosphere and mood to a shot, add colour where there is none, that kind of thing. Producers are always going on about movement and colour. That's what you've got to have, movement and colour. So that's a good way of adding movement and colour to otherwise a fairly static shot. And again, I had to do that a lot with this because I had to be creative, because it's mostly a conversation between two people in a room. So that's kind of, it's not an action movie, you know, so you've got to be creative, you've got to think about how you're going to make it as presentable as possible so it looks nice and it works as best as you can make it. And it looks visually, you know, interesting, if you can. Not always possible, but you do your best. Okay, so that's how we got to there from the piece of crap that I started from, which was that. Yeah, quite a difference. So, what are we doing next? Next, oh god, yes, this one's a good one. Half an hour out, but we're okay. We're doing well. We're doing better than I was in the other night because I was doing it really, you know, literally for someone who's beginning. This time I don't have to assume that you're beginning. I assume if you got past the first stream, you know enough to get what I'm getting at here with the second stream. Yes, it's quite a difference. And that's what it is. It's building up. It's just it's like Photoshop. You build up layer upon layer. Now this next one, I can't really, I can't really show you the preset one, the one that I've already made in this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a scene from scratch to demonstrate something which is a problem I had in my movie for a long time. Okay, let's say we have this footage of a helicopter, right? Got green screen. Very nice, we've got a helicopter. Hey, nice. And we want it flying over this here landscape here. Alright. Okay, and think, oh, it's very nice. Just get that to There you go. Okay, that crappy Windows landscape, there we go. So let's say we want the helicopter flying over there, right? So obviously we stick it behind it, we go to effects, we go to the excellent chroma keying in here. I just love it in here. Compared to Vegas, God. Chroma keying in Vegas is so manky, it's just awful. But this one, you just go, you drag that up to there, boom, done, right, next. If you want to check it, especially for things like that where it's a bit grey, you can go to matte and you can fine tune it a wee bit. Usually it's the gain, or you turn on adaptive colour usually helps. Yeah, you go and then mess with the gain a bit to see how much you want to add or lose. A wee bit. Shift the balance a wee bit. Okay, that makes it more grey, so I'll leave that. That looks fine. You've also got the clipping, which is again to do with transparencies. You can really change the chroma key in this, which I try to do that with Vegas. My God. Right, there you go. All right. Oh, what did I? Oh yeah, I turned it off. So. Result, thank you. So there we go. We've got a helicopter away. And we want to make up there, one a bit smaller because it's a bit gigantic. Oh, make him a bit smaller, right? So he's flying up there, and then we've got to change it, and it needs to be flying over a lake, right? So this needs to be a lake. So because that's the kind of thing that happens in film. So you need a lake. Okay, so you got two options here. You can either go grab stock footage and try and match it up to this angle of this helicopter flying over this landscape, and it won't work. You'll sit there for ages and it will never work because you can never get stock footage. It's the right angle, it's the right speed. It's seamless. There's just no. It never works. It's pointless. This is where again Hitfilm comes in. It saves you with the Caustic effect, which I'm going to show you how to do right now. It's a great effect. So we're going to fake water across the bottom here, and it starts by creating a new composite shot, and we're going to call it height map. It's the same template, everything 30 frames per second and everything as our source footage in this case, so I will just leave it like that because I'm not going to upset it about anything. I just want to keep it all the same. So into our height, or in our height map, we then create a plane, just a black square. There we go. And we go to generate. Everything now we use is in generate, and this is some great stuff in here. Obviously there's more in Hitfilm Pro than there is in Express, but Express has got some good stuff in here. And one of the things that's got in Express as well is fractal noise. And what that does, it just generates noise. But the brilliant thing about it is the presets. This lot. And look what we have. Water. Now, if you play it, obviously it doesn't do anything. You've just generated a kind of random water pattern based on a fractal. It doesn't do anything. To get anything like that to animate in Hitfilm, what you have to do is you have to animate the seed. So, because at the moment that's one seed, if I change the seed, you see it's a different picture. Or a different end result from a different starting seed because it's a fractal. And Hitfilm goes between those seed values smoothly. So it doesn't jump between them, it smoothly transitions. So all you need to do, start there, turn on keyframing, go to the end of your clip, and then turn that up to say 10. And then when you play it, as you see, it's changing from one seed value to another randomly based on the fractal. And there you go, you've got your water effect. It's slow though, it's probably, could do a wee bit speeding up, so you add more seeds. The more seeds it's got to rattle through, the faster it will appear to go. So there you go. That looks nice. So we'll go with that just now. And that's the basis. Excuse me. That is the basis for your water effect. I mean, you can actually use that as a water effect, actually, because you could put that at 50% transparency or something, put it over something, put a few more layers in. You could, it'd be a nice swimming pool effect, actually. You could put that onto something. Yeah, just render that out as a movie. Yeah, put it onto a swimming pool thing. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do, and also with the presets, you can do all kinds of stuff. You do like lava and all kinds of starfield and stuff. This is also how you generate. Because it's, as you can see, because it's going between these scenes, but that's also how you can generate starfields. You just put a fractal noise onto a grade and then just hit it with starfield. Then you can do things to randomise the colours and stuff. Again, here is where you go for all this stuff. Just watch their tutorials. Just go through them all and just just watch random tutorials that look interesting to you, and you'll find out all kinds of groovy stuff that this program can do. And that's one of them, is just creating random starfields or clouds. Again, those will be animated. So let me turn that off. Yeah, so again, you can slowly animate clouds drifting by and all this kind of stuff. Let's see, you get smoky clouds, you get wispy clouds, so you get all kinds of stuff in here. Sorry, I'll stop messing with it. Right, okay, back to what we're doing. We're doing swirly water. Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing. Right, okay, so start. So what is it? It's 20. Right, so this is, I called it height mapper, it doesn't really matter, you can call it whatever you like, but I'm just calling it that for the sake of the demo. You can also change its scale and stuff like that, which you might do, and you can also change subsettings in all fractals. It's the same for all of these. Remember, this doesn't just apply to this, it applies to all of them. You can change all kinds of stuff like the appearance and the colour. One, a bit of the fractal can be one colour, a bit can be another colour. Again, you can mess with that in your own time. I'm just telling you that it's there, and you should go in and mess with it. That's how you create one to start with, and then you mess with it till you find nice effects. That's what I do. I didn't find this one. This was a tutorial on Hitfilm, obviously, called Caustics, which you should watch as well. Don't just trust me. So we've got our composite called height map, right? And what we're going to do, oops, sorry that. In our main shot, we're going to create another plane. Just a black plane like so, and obviously that just covers everything. Right underneath the fractal noise, you've got grid, which we're going to stick on. Excuse me, I had to get a drink there. I'm dying here, I'm dying. Right, what we're doing, yes, the grid, right. The grid's there just to help you line this up, because what you're going to do is you're going to take your grid and you're going to make it 3D. You can do that with any two-dimensional object in here, because it's easy to forget that even in Hitfilm Express, you're always working within a 3D environment. It looks 2D, but it's 3D. It's there. It's there. So, it's in there. It's always in there. You don't always see it. You're not always conscious of it being there, but it is in there, because this is how you layer things and do stuff like that. Get parallax effects and stuff like that. You have different layers with transparencies and all this kind of thing. Again, there's tons of tutorials on that kind of stuff, but just always remember you're in a 3D environment. So with our plane here that we have done, we're going to transform it, and we're going to change the orientation. Nope, not that. Nope. It's always the last one you try it. Yay. So that it matches roughly what you'd expect the perspective to be for your water. We would think, you just try to vaguely, you don't have to be totally exact, but you're trying to get sort of the vanishing point, more or less, what you'd think. Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah, that'd be alright. And then what you do, obviously that doesn't cover the whole frame, because this is where your water's going to be, so what you do is make sure it covers the entire frame like that. You obviously can tilt it, stuff like that, or tidy up this edge, which you're not going to do. You can do that obviously easy enough, just put an image on top of it to tidy up the edge. I'm just going to have a dead straight line just now because I'm just demonstrating it. So there you've got your perspective, basically, of where you think the water would be in relation to the helicopter and to your landscape. Okay, so you can turn off the grid. Don't need that anymore. You can leave it there though. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it there. If it was turned off, Hitfilm isn't processing it, so it's not a problem. Now we have to add the magic again in here and generate in Caustics, which doesn't do anything when you stick it on to begin with because you haven't told it to do anything yet. First thing you're going to do is give it the height map. Now, the height map it has no access to because it's not in this shot. Because you always have to remember that all effects inside Hitfilm can't access anything that's outside this composite shot. It can't access any of the other ones. So you've got to drag your height map composite into there. And obviously all that is just that. You know, your mad is this thing here. You don't need to see it, you just need it to be there. That information needs to be accessible. So back to our plane, which I better rename water, or fake water anyway. So our height map is going to be height map. That's why I called it that. If it comes in black, I think sometimes it helps it. No, it doesn't. Sometimes it helps to refresh it a bit. So now this is where it gets tricky because you've got to know also the height map only adjusts the height of the waves. You've now got to give this surface here something to reflect. So the second thing you have to set up is the environment map, which is just basically your shot, or in this case specifically, you know, I mean, if the shot included the helicopter, I'd be reflecting that on here as well, but it doesn't. It's just the background I've got resizer, which is the image. So that there blue is now being reflected badly at the moment because I haven't set it up yet in the Caustics effect. But it can reflect the environment. The environment map will reflect whatever image or shot or layer you want to put into it. So in this case, you'd be probably better to, you know, render off the helicopter and the sky together, and then bring that in as a shot, and then you could, you know, do that. But it's not the point. I'm just trying to demonstrate something. So put the depth down to 0. That can go down to that. Bottom texture is also if you want to add, like, you know, you can have the top texture, then you have ground underneath it, or, you know, like the bottom of a swimming pool sort of effect. But we're not going to use that just now. So, but that's all it is. Just a bottom texture as well as a top texture. And the environment map is the top texture. Now this is where it gets tricky. Because what you've got to do is you've got to line up the map. Hang on. And you're also better to do it up on the controls because you get these dials and stuff like that. Now, let me just also, it's maybe easier for you to see it on the stream if I do that. So there we go, right. So we don't need the bottom texture. I'll just open these up so you can see them properly. So the surface texture, we don't need, that's a different thing again. You can put in different things on top of it. Illumination is to do with if you've got light set up in the scene, you can set it up as well, but we're not bothered with that. All we want to do is reflect this onto here like a mirror. The first thing you do is turn your scale to 50%. Go. Then we have to turn the image upside down, which I believe is the Y rotation, if I remember correctly. Find out in a second. Because now we have to move. Oh, there you go. And there is the image. Now you see it's kind of distorted because it's an environment map, so it's wrapping the environment. Oh, and here sometimes it helps if you're out of it. So what you got to do is, oh, I can get it back to 0 again. Right, okay, 0 out. You can just find. There we go. There you go. So, as I say, we flipped it upside down, so it's now like that. We now have to just gently nudge it into position, so that it kind of reflects what's going on above. Actually, it's not that one. Sometimes this texture ratio can be a bit of a pain. So I have to make it smaller, and then this is a bit fiddly, this one. Oh, I keep on doing the wrong one. It's no, because I can't do that one because that will move it across. Well, Sometimes you have to kind of... God, it gets so tricky, this one. Oh, hang on, I'll try it the other way around. Hang on. Sometimes it might be better if I put that to 100%. And then, oh yeah, I think that might be what I'm doing. Set that to, yeah, I think it might be better if I do it that way. Oh no, it's 5. No. Yeah. 0.5, sorry, that's stupid. So that should be 180. Bear with me, sorry, this is a fiddly one to get right, because you've got to get that lined up and flat so that it can reflect the top part. So that, I think, should be set to 0. Okay, so it's a scale, no, not scale that way, ratio that way, I think. Oh, there you go. Well, that would work actually. It's a bit too stretched out though, so... That's just how much reflectivity I should have turned that up as well, makes it easier. Crap. Damn thing. Actually, we could do it, yeah, we just do that. Sorry. Okay. There you go. That'll be close enough. You get the idea. You have to fiddle around with these transforms a lot to try and get that to line up there with your image. Essentially, it reflects it so it looks like it's water. Okay. Once you've got that all done, and you've got it reflecting, now you can add the waves. And you add the waves by setting this, set these down to very low, and you use very low values to begin with, because otherwise you would see it. See, it's 4, and then I'll try it. There we go. And if we play it, there you go. Because obviously we're playing this height map as it plays, moving, and it's using that height map to distort the reflection of the background that we've just put on there. It's got a bit fast, so you just come into here, so you just turn that down maybe to 15, maybe. And that'll immediately change over here. No, still a bit fast actually. It looked different over here, but see. I don't know. It still looks a bit fast. Sorry for perfections. Let's try 5. Well, that's surely can't be too fast. Still looks. Is this actually changing or what? Oh, let's make it really slow. Yeah, it's okay. It just shows you that it's a completely different look to the speed of it in here than it was in the actual composite shot from where it came from. But there you go. That's you put a verge on there. You can add a bit of depth of field on there. What I usually do with that to kind of fake depth is I'll just put another sorry, put another effect, another grade, sorry, on there, and then I'll put onto it so it blurs everything, and it does you mask it off. So it only blurs the bit you want. That's a bit big. So it would be something like that. Yeah, so you could add something like that, and then you would just. I was getting it wrong measured. Feather a bit. There's quite a lot of feather actually. But there maybe. There we go. Yeah, obviously that's not not the greatest blur depth of field effect cheat ever, but you get the idea. You take more time than I'm doing, and you'd add blur to the background and stuff like that if you wanted to get that depth of field effect separately. But obviously you do that blur effect here directly onto that background image. Obviously it's separate from everything else. Just turn it down a bit, just kind of make that merge in better with the water maybe. Which actually, again, fine tuning, you do a lot of fine tuning, but you get the idea, right? Okay, that's what you would do with that. I'll just put a wee bit of blur on that, just to be dead. So there you go. So generate your thing over here, and then bring that into here, add that. If you can see, this is why you should. Oh, I should blur. That's why you should name your bloody thing. I did. So you should name, and then to the caustics, height map goes into height map, because that's what I called it. And then your background, whatever the background is, it can be a complete image, it can be a layer, it can be what composite, it can be whatever it is, but whatever you want to reflect onto the caustic effect, you put into the environment map. And then you have to turn it upside down and then do all the transformation and stuff like that to get it to look right. But that's essentially how you do it. While we're here, just because it's a neat trick, the helicopter. How would you reflect it in the water then? So, duplicate it first of all. Take your duplicate, and then you want to transform it. Now, I'm thinking now. On your positions here, what you have to work out is it's up and down, right? Okay, so if I set that to a minus number. Oh, no, it's not that. What was that? Was it turned upside down? Oh yeah, that was the scale. Sorry, if I scale that to to a minus number, you flip upside down. Now, because they're both linked, it's flipped both axes upside down, which is not what we want. So what you have to do is you have to unlink it and then get rid of one of them. Oh, no, not that one. The other one. There you go. So now we have a perfectly inverted, flipped version, which is doing exactly the same as that one is. Yeah. Now, you would then obviously stick that down. It's sunk. Stick that on top of the block. There we go. Stick that there, and then you pass it down. You can also mask off the bottom bit. You could adjust the scale, maybe just. No, crap. You have to turn the link back on again. Oh. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. You know, so you can get the reflection. Obviously, you'd mask off the bottom bit so it fades out towards the bottom. You can also add. There's a way of doing it. I'm not 100% sure, but you can use this height map here as a displacement map to then apply to this layer, which would then displace it the same way as these are. You know, these waves are basically rippling, so it would look like it was actually completely, being reflected in those. The other way you could do it, because I can't remember exactly how you do that, so I'm not going to attempt something I'm not 100% sure, but the other way I would do it, as a quick way of doing it, is use the heat distortion effect on that layer, vertically, or that way, so it matches the waves, and the heat distortion would make it ripple, and that would give you the same effect. So, that's essentially a cheap and easy way to fake something with nothing, basically. Because that still looks like crap, actually. Yeah, because obviously it's too. The other thing, I'm forgetting. The other thing you do as well to help sell it a bit is change the blend mode. Because a lot of times it's the blend that's wrong. It's nothing else. Because that should be an overlay for a start. So more of the background kind of shows through it, and it should also be more transparent. It should be more like that. Yeah. Barely visible. Oh, bloody camera off. Oh no, of course you need the camera, of course, because it's a 3D object. So yeah, there you go. I think that's all I wanted to do with that one, just so hopefully you get it. Partners to watching. If you've got any questions about any of that, just let me know, because it can be a lot to take in. But the caustic stuff, the more you use it, the more kind of useful it gets as well, because you start to realise how many other applications you can start to use it for. What's next then? What's next? So let's see. Caustic done that. Oh right. Oh yes. Okay. Well, we've got the shot here. We may as well use it, I suppose. Oh crap! No, SketchUp. No, sorry. I didn't mean to run SketchUp there. Oh my god, my eyes. Sorry. Yes, exactly. Yes. Sage advice, people. What Pat's saying there. Watch tutorials on the Hitfilm site. Don't trust me. Go watch them. I'm just showing you how I do it and stuff, but that's not how the professionals do it. The professionals do it better. They do all kinds of fancy tricks that I'm still trying to learn. There's so much in here. I mean, there's so much in here. Yeah, exactly, Pat. And one of the things that's in here that I didn't realise is so bloody useful is this Borix Continuum Complete. Now this is, I believe it only comes with Hitfilm Pro. Because it also lets you import Cinema 4D files, which I just discovered today, I didn't realise. And it does all kinds of weird things. And it's too much to absorb from one watch, Pat, yeah, I suppose. But that's the idea, is that you can watch it over and it's like you're seeing everything I'm doing, so you can reconstruct absolutely everything I'm doing. There's nothing hidden here, there's no sped up bits or anything like that. Yeah, this is it's the latest version in terms of the Hitfilm 2017 that I bought, because they're doing it on a yearly update schedule now, which is slightly different from what it was. So mine's is Hitfilm 2017 essentially, and 2018 is the latest version. So it has it's got like a puppet tool in it, which is very, very reminiscent of Crazy Talk Animator. And it looks like they're going for that kind of market as well, which is good because they're diversifying. So they're adding more stuff to this. So this is kind of the Hitfilm is getting closer to iClone actually as time goes on, or iClone's coming closer to Hitfilm. I'm not sure which, because iClone has just added popcorn effects, and popcorn effects is what all the particle systems and stuff, all this stuff, which is all popcorn effects. Some of the popcorn effects in iClone look identical to the stuff that's in Hitfilm, so it just shows you it's all kind of converging together. After Effects as well, I mean, that's the same sort of thing. What kind of program is it anyway? You know, you're taking 3D stuff and 2D and audio and everything else. That's another thing. Whenever you're taking in a shot in your composite, if it's got sound on it, it'll play all the time. The only way to turn it off is you right click and go to mute, because if you don't, you'll get... Oh, yeah, I don't know if you can actually... Yeah, desktop audio's... Oh, maybe because the other was muted, I don't know. But yeah, you can just mute things there. It took me a while to work on it actually when I first got the program. I was like, how do you turn this off? It's just there, and then you can mute it. That turns the sound off if you don't want it. Yeah, okay, the next one I was going to see is about... The last thing I'm going to do is the particles, so do the particles last, right? That's the second... The next thing I'm going to do after this is emitters, and it'll be the last thing I do. But before I do that, I just want to mention these brilliant things over here, the Borix stuff, as it's called, the Borix Continuum Complete, or BCC. This is a set of tools that you get with Hitfilm Pro. Like I say, the studio lets you import Cinema 4D files, which I only just discovered today. That's very handy. What I use it for is this thing here, extruded text. Now, the problem with these effects is that when you try to drag them on, you can't drag them on. They're layer effects, because what you're doing is you're creating fake 3D text essentially, because it's on a 2D layer. It's not actually 3D, but it looks like 3D. It's fake 3D, so it's really good. So what you do is you create in your shot, because I'm going to put a title on this. It's going to be like action sequence or something shit. We're going to stick a plane on there. Again, match your timeline. It's fine. And we're going to stick on there extruded text and just drag it on. Oof, and there you go, straight away. straight away, it immediately looks impressive already, and you're like, okay, this is impressive. And what this is it's within this. It makes it easier, I think, if I turn off everything else, so you can see exactly what's happening. Okay, so I'll leave that on just so you can see that. Okay, so what you got here is this shot now, or this plane has its own built-in lighting system and camera system, just for this grade, this grade layer, because of this thing. So this is a 3D object within a 2D plane, which I can still rotate and do all my usual stuff with, that I want to later on, but it is also independently inside that. It's got this 3D object that I can change at any time. You don't have to fix it, you don't have to rasterize it like you have to in Photoshop or something. It is text, and it always remains text. This stuff is cool. To change the text, this took me a while to work it out, because I was like, how do you change it? You can get the help and everything in here, which is very advised if you're going to use it. But you just do that, and there you go. You got your usual, underline, bolds. You can write thing. You can do titles, end titles, and stuff with this as well. You can also do that with the Studio. That's also for end titles, which is really good. So you type in whatever you want in here. We'll type in film 2015. Yeah. Change it. It's a fancy font. There we go. Awesome. Oh, lovely. Right, and we want to make that all movie, like Chrome. We want Chrome. Yeah, got Chrome. So we've got materials, or front material, and then you get presets and Chrome. We've got Chrome. And then the other stuff here is like you can also apply another layer on top of that to get different effects. I'll just leave it on the Chrome just now. Texture alpha is obviously if you've got a texture you want to put on top of that, which has got like holes in it, like a PNG, so you turn the alpha on, the alpha channel. I think you leave it turned off, obviously, to save processing, because there's no point in processing the alpha if you don't have to. If you've got all your usual kind of things you can adjust about it, as you would expect. But the cool thing is, if I go to the light and the light source, and I go to the source, and I change, what does that? I change this. You see it's changing. You see it changing in real time because the text is a 3D object. And you move it forward and back by that one, that goes forward and back through the thing, and then up, in 2 dimensions. You can just grab that and just move the light about. It's not a very powerful light though. Come on, give us some more light. Oh, it's behind it. That's why. Hang on. Let's move it in front. There we go. Make it dramatic, yes. So it's blue. There we go. So, okay, that looks like crap, but you get the point. I keep on saying that, don't I? Yeah, it looks like crap, but you get the point. You can also do the same thing with the camera. You got all kinds of, you can zoom about the place. You can also animate all this, of course, because you can have, your animated title sequence in here easily enough without having to adjust anything else in the shot. You can have this completely independent. So we can have the zoom set to the, you're not going to do next, are you? And then that's too much. That's too much Hitfilm. Oh no, that is the big sequence. Okay, so there you go. And then you go. So you can animate it within this Borix text effect, independently of anything else, so it's not affecting anything else. I'll just turn it off because that's silly. That's all good, right? That's all cool, and you can do all kinds of other stuff with it. Orientation and stuff like that. You can change, flip it around and twist it, and all the usual kind of stuff that you can transform a 3D object, which is fair enough. But what's really cool is when you start messing with the paths and you do things like stick it in a circle. Stuff like that. You're messing about, and you can do all kinds of weird things with that. You also have transformations, so you can also adjust. You can actually make. Oh crap! There was a better effect. I think probably. Basically, again, you could get exploding text and stuff like that just by moving that back and forward. You could do all kinds of stuff like that, which is cool. I'll put it back to the line. You can do, I guess you can define. You can define the line there. You can twist it about wherever you want. Yeah. I'll just put it back to default. But what's really cool is when you use these things called jitters, and these are basically animations onto your thing here. So if I put an animation on, and I'll use shutter. Shutter. So I play it, and it just shatters it. Yeah, and it usually works better with organic shapes, I find, rather than text kind of shapes for that one, or softer shapes anyway. Does it have a ripple there, so you can have it sort of floating like a flag sort of thing. Obviously that works better if you turn it around a bit. Let's rotate it. There we go. So you can actually see the effect. There you go. So you can see it's. Remember, it's still a two-dimensional layer, but it's faking all this 3D within here. And also you can combine all this stuff as well, because you can change the scale of everything and all that kind of stuff still while you're messing with all these other effects. My favourite effect though, I think, has to be pulse. I like that. And you get a deformer and you can choose what kind of pulse you want. Which is mad. Is it random? Okay, not that random. You turn down how big it gets. No, it's still a bit. It's a bit. It goes a bit mad, that effect, but you get the idea. You can do all kinds of crazy shit with this. The great thing. You can also do titles and stuff like that with, like, say, the studio, and the studio is very similar. If I open it up, very similar, but in the UI window it's got its own little thing, and here's where you put all your keyframes, because you can actually do what I've just been doing there, but you can also do it in here, and then you can do, you know, individual keyframe control and ease in and ease out and all the keyframes, and you can get really into it. This is its own little thing. It's its own little program within a program here. As you can see, it's got its own keyframe system, so this is one you have to read up on, which I am in the process of doing, so I'll try and work out how it all works. But this is one you can also do a good text crawl in for end titles apparently, and of course use all those Borix effects with your end titles. It doesn't have to be just plain text, it can all be Chrome or whatever. So there you go. That's just a nice wee thing to use. So the last thing, alright, let's see how that looks anyway. Whatever. Borix effects. God, I slowed down a crawl. So again, you could have that again reflected in the water, not a problem. You just duplicate it, minus the scale on one axis, and that will automatically create a duplicate inverted for you. And there you go. And you can have that floating in the water. I'm not going to do it because it's going to slow the machine down. Because the only thing about the Borix effects is it does slow your machine down because it's having to generate that in real time, as it were. So also when you're not using them, it's best to turn them off. And you can see it's a lot more, performance is a lot better. Turn it on. Chug, chug. That's good. Performance is an issue. Okay, so last thing. Emitters. Emitters. Right, the easiest way to show you this is to actually, again, just close all that. Show you a video first of something. It's a music video, it's a test of a music video I'm working on. You should be able to hear it through the desktop audio, just check that you're hearing it through OBS. And this is basically an effect I was testing out of a couple of emitters, well, one emitter effect really duplicated, and a radio wave effect. I'll play it and you see it. don't know if you heard that or not. It looked like you could from here, so hopefully you hear that. But this was an idea because the music was quite sort of, you know, quite punchy, and I wanted an effect that would match it. So if I go right back to the start again, if I just deconstruct this a bit, show you what I was doing. I think start with the so. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you can hear the music. Good. Okay, what we'll do is I'll create one just from scratch here, just to show you what I'm talking about here. This is the last thing, honest. This is me. Again, you go into your particle simulation. There's a lot of pre-made ones as well you can have in here, which is quite nice. But your basic particle simulator is how you kind of learn, I suppose, from scratch. It's the simplest one you can get. And it's its own little layer, so you can just drag it straight on. I'll just stick it to the. I'll stick it to the bottom. That's fine. So when you turn it off. When you first stick it on, it just does that. All it is it just sits in that's all it does. The trick to using them is really just understanding how the emitter works. Ignore the rest just now. Work on the emitter, because the emitter is what that is. That and it's emitting little things, and it's emitting them from a point in space. But I could do a circle or quad, where you can't really see the box confines. Confines of a sphere. These ones don't really make so much sense yet. Actually, there's a code. But because there's straight away you should yes, we're going to this because that there, what I was going to do is I was going to show make it an exhaust from a car. That, because that's what I did. I took that basic idea, okay, and then I took. The reason I'm not doing it is because the shot is so dark you wouldn't be able to see it across the internet when I was trying to work on it, and I thought it's not going to be a very good example. So I'll just show you what I did. So obviously it's active. I don't know why that's there. Active, of course it's active. But I suppose it's so you can activate it, animate, turn it on and off. But having a whole subcategory just for that is a bit excessive. Anyway, particle system. I don't know why they duplicate that either. Here we go. And then you kind of work your way down. And then you get, okay. And again, you get the seed thing. Well, the music shouldn't still be playing, I don't think. I mean, it should still be. No. The music isn't still on, is it? Because I wasn't intending to talk over it at all. I was just intending to just listen to it while I was just showing you the effect. I wasn't trying to do it as a voiceover thing. No, okay, good stuff. Right, the seed again is you get different, seeds, so you get slightly different shapes and stuff like that. More particles, less particles. Okay, yeah, well, okay, yeah. I shouldn't really be talking over the music video. I just wanted you to hear the timing of it matching the particle emitter emitting things at the same pace as the music was. That's the only point I was trying to make there. So again, once you understand this bit here, the kind of general principles, it's all it is a point, and it generates stuff, and those things, those particles, can be anything. Literally anything you want. They can be models. They can be 3D models if you want. The emitter attachment and velocity, I've never actually needed to use them. So again, now that we know how that works, then all we need to do is change what we want to actually emit. And that comes under appearance, because that's what the appearance of those little white things are. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense if you think about it, again, with the top-down attitude that the Hitfilm have. If you go from that point of view, affected by deflectors and forces is to do with gravity effects and hiding bits and stuff like that, which is more advanced. I won't get into all that. But that's, again, you watch their tutorials on that. They'll explain more on it. But for this example, I want to create a trail of smoke. We had all these, have these quick 3D ones that people have made up of missile smoke and all this kind of stuff, but I couldn't find anything that was appropriate, so I had to make it from scratch. And that's how I learned how to use particle simulators, because I just had to make one. And that's the best way to do it. So your source can be either a layer, as in a picture or an image or movie or whatever you've got as a shot in your composite shot, or you use the built-in stuff, which is usually quite good. Now, because I was trying to do smoke, I did indeed use something like that. I used, what was it again? I think it was oil fire smoke type stuff. I'm trying to think what it was. It was dark smoke. Fire, like. It's a bit too textured, I think it's a bit too fancy. About like embers. Let's get fancy effects, obviously. This would be, a lot of these effects would make more sense if it was in a radio pattern kind of thing. Obviously. Done it that way. It's a bit heavy for what we want, but it serves the purpose. So it's billboards, and what that means is that it will always face towards you. So even if you rotate the effect in 3D, which obviously you can, it will still always point the texture towards you, so you won't ever see it edge on, which is bad news, obviously, because that looks terrible. Align to motion, a similar idea is like when if you're moving the point and you're animating it, then it will align the path of, you know, how it's generating the particles to the motion of the point or the layer or whatever you're doing. Again, that kind of makes more sense. If you need it, it will be turned on, or you need to turn it on. But if you don't need it most of the time, so don't have to worry about it. And then you've got stuff about angles and shit like that, which you have to worry about too much. Basically, that is the appearance, what you want to smoke, okay? Sure. How would you want to vary the appearance of that? Because you don't want each one to be the same, do you? Well, you will, or not. So the variation would be like, so I could vary the angle. So there's 27-degree variance in the texture angle for each particle that gets generated to add variation to it. And the more angle I add, as you can see, the more randomly each one. Let's see if I turn down. Nope. That seems fine. Leave it alone. Here are the particles that I get. Turn down the particles. That's a wee bit too low. There was 3 for God sake. So each one that was generated is at a different angle, and the angle is determined by that, or they're going to be the same. Variation into it, and then you change the texture and stuff. You change the colours. Again, you can animate all that if you want. The more useful one I find, rather than changing the appearance, is the movement. The life is how long it's going to last for. So when it's generated, each particle lasts for a set amount of time, and then it dies. 1 second in this case. So let's extend it out, and straight away, as you can see, and then live longer before they disappear. So long, in fact, we can have the scale of them individually down or up, so you get, you know, that kind of stuff. You can have the speed and how fast they emit from, so you have to really slow. A bit faster. Then there's all kinds of variations between this steam valve going, and all kinds of stuff you can add to your shot, just varying all this kind of stuff. You change the variations to their mass, the rotation, you do all kinds of stuff. Movement variations is a good one because, again, that looks a bit silly. And what you can do is you can change the variation of the life. So not all of them will last 33 seconds, some of them will last, well, if that makes no sense. Hang on, I'll bring that down to, say, 12 seconds. With, say, 6 seconds, so half of them. Some will last up to 12 seconds, some will last as short as 6 seconds. Get you to the same scale so that they're not all the same size. Some will be bigger than others. Again, 47% variation in size. Effect. Again, it can vary the speed, so they're not all even the same. Yeah. Well, you see, as you go over it and start again, the top ones are the bottom ones. Leave the top ones, especially life scale speed for your particles and stuff. It comes off in this after a while, and it works. And that's basically how I did this. And then I lowered the gravity of it so that it drifted up over time. How did I do that again now? Let's see. That wasn't, oh no, it wasn't effects, because you can add them as well. It was it mass? I think it was, I lowered the mass. No, it wasn't that. It was, wasn't general, nope. That must be movement, surely. Oh yeah, I think it's mass and friction combined, basically. Is you have to mess with them. I don't know. I can't remember. But you can move, basically you know, turn it up the way, essentially, so you can have wind effects and stuff like that, and you can vary it as well by animating the kind of gusts, as it were, through the movement speed to give you effects. And so the reason why I did all that is so that now when we look at this will make more sense. So again, I haven't, the transformation here is basically moving that point, the emitter, I'm moving the emitter about the screen just by using transform points, just moving it about, just randomly about the screen. That's all I did. Yeah. Material I didn't touch, just left it alone. General didn't touch. The time shift is so you can start the effect before the shot starts, so that your smoke will start generating before the shot starts. It wouldn't start on the start of the shot, which is something you see in a lot of amateur films where they don't understand. You have to pre-start it essentially before your shot, before your shot starts, which is hard to say. So the emitter on this one, circular, obviously. That's that. Explosion as my, and those are the path, obviously, for the transform points. It's exploding circle of these, and what it's generating, again, particles. The particles it's actually generating are, if I go down here, spark streak. So it's basically a line, but because I'm doing it radially, if I was to change it to a cone, to a cone, again, it makes it easier to see how you can use this for all kinds of effects, for all kinds of things. Just by that, you can completely change what that effect can be for. It can be for Roman characters. I also looked at Roman characters because it's that, or you can make it a sphere would work on that. It would have to be a point, I think. Oh no, I keep on doing. Well, you can do it random. Whatever. Oh, you have targets, so they're all pointing at a specific thing, but. But there you go. I mean, that's just, you can just play around with these sort of variables, and then all I did was use the built-in spark streak, change the colours, and again I changed the colours over time so that if I move that across, at each of these points, as you see, that's yellow, and then jumped over here, changed it to pink or whatever that is, mauve or whatever, jumped to there, changed it to purple, jumped to there, so it cycles through all these colours automatically, you know, as it's moving about, as it's generating these sparks. And that's it, that's all I did. So that's how you can generate all kinds of groovy effects. And again, I put in some variation, a wee bit of variation, I think. Movement, yeah, a wee bit in the speed, a little bit in the scale, so they're not all the same scale. Because if you set that to 0 and then do it, oh, broke it. It's not disk, it was random. Not exactly the same scale, but it works. It's quite a nice effect. Varying that. Then on top of that, just added a glow effect, of course, because I added glow to everything. Yeah, glow and radial blur to blur off the edges a wee bit to keep eye sort of focused on the centre. The other thing that I did on here, if I can find it, was this is a cool thing. It's called radio waves, which is one I found in one of the tutorials thinking, what? And it's a cool effect. I don't actually know what category it's under. Is it under generate or something? Is it? Yeah. It's under generate, yeah, it generates radio waves, essentially. Or it generates a wave pattern. Automatically it generates a constant repeating loop for you so that you can then just mess with it, essentially. So I put it to heptagon, or you can have it to octagon, or you can have a triangle. And then I've got it rotating. I've got a pinch effect, which basically messes with it. You can change the curvature of it and stuff. Again, you change those values over time. So I'm just messing with it. I'm not trying it's kind of what you can do and stuff. It's just, again, I think this is Hitfilm Pro thing. If not, it's one of those tasks it just generates stuff and you just change it. So it's dead easy. It's good for creating psychedelics and pictures, displays yeah, you get the similar sort of things, the appearance settings and stuff like that, the motion settings and stuff. I stuck a glow on it, put a vignette on it to kind of tie it in. There you go. Groovy psychedelia without even trying, essentially, is what I was trying to get there, and it kind of works. I completely messed that up, but it might just start okay, turn it down a bit so you should be able to hear me this time. Oh well. Yeah, that's a nicer effect. I like the triangles. Nice. Yeah, that's very cool. That is nice. And that's just, again, that's one effect out of all of these ones in Generate. Generate has got a lot of stuff in there that is great, great fun. Obviously got all this light sword stuff. You can do that though with the lightning effect as well. I know in here, wherever it is, you just do a straight lightning and that gives you a light sword, or a lightsaber. Where's lightning anyway? I thought it was up here. Thunder or something? Or is it neon path? You can also draw a neon and stuff. You do all this kind of stuff. You get some great effects in here, you really do. Yeah, radio waves, but it's a good one. I think when you, see again, you have to apply it to the layer. If I just create a new, I'm just intrigued here because I can't remember what the default radio wave is. Oh, I have to create a plane. Stick that in there. There we go. And then just play it. There you go. So by default, it just generates that. Automatically, just generates. And then you change it to whatever you need to start with, and then you can start changing the shape and the, you start doing all this kind of stuff. You can start making mind control videos for people. Yeah, it's a really cool effect. I forget it's here sometimes, and I forget how useful it is, because to be able to generate this in real time, I mean, that just saves you so much hassle and work and stuff. You can make an entire video just with the radio waves effect, just layering different effects, and you can make a weird psychedelic video or whatever, or like passing through time tunnels and all this kind of stuff, which they have in here. You've got all those kind of 3D effects, but obviously it's better, I think, more rewarding if you make it on your own. Well, there it is, lightning and electricity. Yeah, you straighten that out and you can make light beams with it and laser effects and all kinds of stuff. So, oh yeah, there was one other thing that I forgot to mention, just to go back to our helicopter thing. Oh yeah, this thing. So you get the helicopter to move about the place in a bit, sort of. I forgot about Borix, I have to turn that off. Oh, it's the wrong helicopter. Oh, yeah. To get that to move around realistically, obviously you go to position and then you could move it a few pixels that way and a few pixels that way, and you gently kind of try and move it around the place to try and make it look like it's hovering. Or you could use, I'm trying to remember what the name of the effect is. Is it jitter or is it shake? Was it just shake? Yeah, it was just shake. Here we go. So you can just shake it. Obviously that's a bit shaky. But again, that's kind of like the camera effect in the movie zoo where you could apply the shake effect to it. It's the same thing, you just apply it to a layer, and obviously you can smooth it out, you can change the amount, obviously it's going to get a lot less. There you go. And slow it right down because it would be moving that fast. There you go, even slower. Let's get and change kind of pattern it wants to follow. You can also smooth it down a bit, turn the speed up, see if that works. Yeah, not too bad. No, it's still too fast. There's a certain point it just gets too fast. Yeah, you have to jiggle with it. But, you know, you can get that and then you can add. Yeah, this is starting to get there. And obviously, ideally what you would do is you do that before you copied it down here so that this one would move the same way as that one. Obviously you'd think ahead. But that's a good way, just something else I remember. Just a good way to get that. And obviously you could also put, you could actually use the radio waves effect, I just thought, down here, emitting, you know, white disturbances there. Or you could use the fractals probably for that, to make it look like, you know, the downdraft is on the water and it's going across the water. You could sit here all day and make that into something. You know, that's the great thing about Hitfilm. You can just play with it and you'll end up with something cool. You always have. So that is the stream. That is everything I want to show you, I think. Everything I can think of just now that I can safely show you without cocking it up. Oh. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do one more stream. Not now, obviously. I'm going to do one more stream probably towards the end of the week, or maybe the weekend. But what I want to do is I want to put up a post in like Zoo Chat and the Virtual Cinema group about Movie Zoo. I do a stream on Movie Zoo because what I want to do is I want to get like I don't know, a straw poll or something like that. You can do on Facebook, can't you? I want to do something like that and just ask people, what do you want? What do you not understand about? What do you not understand about Movie Zoo here? Because I think I can answer a lot of these questions, especially about the dialogue. So many people ask about the dialogue. It's like it's not difficult, but the way Movie Zoo is, it makes it really difficult. So I'm thinking maybe if you know, get people to come up with a list of, you know, questions or points that they're not sure about, I can do a stream. You know, I can prepare something and then do a stream and then show every single point live to people on the stream, and then they can ask us about it, and then I can show them, you know, what it is they're having problems with live. And Movie Zoo, because I've never done that before, and no one's ever done that before, and I think it would be helpful for some people, especially all the new people that have joined Zoo Chat. You know, they're coming into Movie Zoo because it appears to still be alive, and yet, so it would be helpful to maybe have something like that so that they can know that it does work. It's just that you can't really trust the tutorials because they're all out of date, and this would become like a more sort of up-to-date tutorial, I suppose, or set of tutorials in a way, because I'll just sit here and go through everything possible to try and show people how to do everything, because there's not that much you can do in Movie Zoo. I mean, there is a limited number of things. It's not like this. You can sit here for the rest of their life. Yeah, they don't speak English, this is true. They could turn on the translation after the stream's done, and you know, that automatic English translator thing might work, I suppose. But even just showing them it, I mean, remember, the whole point of Movie Zoo is that you don't necessarily need to be able to read it. You can see, you know, because the interface is the same way, you know, across all Movie Zoos, so they'll kind of get what you're doing, you know, because each window is kind of distinct. Each section you're in of the program, you know, like the dialogue editor doesn't look like the action editor, you know, so people would get where you are, I think. I don't think the language barrier would be that big a deal. But I think it's something that I want to try anyway, because I just want these questions to stop. You know, where it's like, oh, come on, that's not that difficult. But it is difficult to explain, but it's not difficult to show, if you know what I mean. And that's what I like to do. I like to just show the stuff that people find difficult and show that it's not that bad. Just like this, really. Hitfilm, I mean, is Hitfilm that scary now? You think it's that scary compared to when you first see it, you know, you're like, oh my god, what is this thing? I certainly did. I didn't want to go near it. Yeah, they don't understand render layers. Yeah, and movies, yes. Yeah, I should bring it across here because it's all drop it that way. Yes, they do not understand render layers. Yes, and that is one of the things here that is very important, because obviously that's on its own layer, and that's on its own layer, and everything's on its own layer. You've got to have an understanding of PNGs, TGAs, and you know what transparencies are, and the advantage of having them, and how that can work in something like Hitfilm to your advantage. Because if you do everything in camera and movies, well, that's fair enough, but you're limiting yourself straight away because so many things you can't do. And we've already seen so many people that managed to take movies and integrate it with real life or into other things, or like what you're doing, Pat, with the Outera. You know, it makes sense. You can do so much more with this, but someone's got to show you how to do it, and that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to try and show people how to get more out of it in a kind of simple way that people will understand, I suppose. That's really all. Really, all I'm trying to do at the moment is just try and get them to get it. Just get it. You know, it's not that hard, honestly. It's not that hard. It's a good program, and yeah. Well, that'll be the first one that I'll put that on. Render layers will be the first one. How to do render layers. Yeah, I'll make a note. I'll do that right now, actually. Yeah, render layers. And oh yeah, and also obviously all that ensues in the, you know, cut out occluders and all that kind of stuff, which again sounds really technical, but it's actually pretty straightforward. They shouldn't have called it that, because that just confuses people. They're supposed to make it dead easy for people when they call, you know, the masks cut out occluders, which is like, should have called it that. Call it a mask. People understand what a mask is, you know. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. That is such a crappy 80s action movie, and it's terrible. Yeah, how to use it in Hitfilm? Yes, exactly, yes. That's what I'm saying, yeah. That helicopter could easily be a movie zoo character, or anything. It could be anything at all. You bring it in here, you do all this stuff, you whack it with all these effects, there you go. And you can come up with cheesy crap like this in no time at all. Obviously, everybody out there, you're all going to do it better than this. I'm just demonstrating. But yeah, watch those tutorials over here. That one there is just awesome. The way they got it to work, because obviously that works in 3D as well. As you're walking towards it, it adjusts because they used Mocha to track it. And that was something I was going to talk about today, but I can't, because I don't quite understand Mocha. It's just this thing here, and it's really good. I mean, it really is. If tracking basically doesn't cut it, you know, if you're using your motion tracking in your shot and you can't motion track something for whatever reason, then you use this, and this can motion track anything because it motion tracks areas, planes essentially, not just dots. It can also do dots, and it can do multiple dots, not just two like Hitfilm. It does, yeah. Mocha is in Hitfilm Pro, and it's just a plugin. And what you do is you track, you know, images in here, and it exports that tracking information directly into here, you know, as a channel which you can then assign to a point or a layer or whatever as you normally would. It's just a different way of capturing the motion track. Like say, if the motion track system in here fails, it doesn't work, that's when you need Mocha. And Mocha is the professional image tracking type stuff, which is really good. I mean, it can track anything, it's just amazing. I've seen the tutorials on it and it's like, wow, this thing can track, you know, a snowflake in a snowstorm. You know, it can really track stuff, it doesn't lose it. It's really good. Right, and yeah, there's I mean, God, you could, like I say, you could sit here all day with all this stuff. There's so much stuff here I haven't even touched on. Just, I wouldn't go near, because I could be here for the rest of my life talking about them. Because I've used a lot more of these effects than I've used here. But these are the ones I think that people will get most of if they understand it, because they understand that it's not as scary as it looks. That's all I'm trying to get to here. It's just not as bad as it looks, people. That there was, you know, tedious to set up when you watch it to get done in the tutorial, but look how good it looks. And when you see it moving, it just looks awesome. It absolutely does. Same with that. I mean, just how they set that up was really quite simple. When that was in Express, they could do that, and it looks excellent. So yeah, well, thanks for tuning in, and I shall see you on the next stream, which will, I think, like I say, be about movies news specifically. So a limited audience maybe, but I think it will be helpful. So before my throat goes out, I will say good night, Pat, over there, and I hope you're warmer than I am, because it's freezing over here. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.